welcome to my kitchen again. I'm going to fry some green tomatoes. That's something I dearly love. My tomatoes aren't very big right now, but we're going to have some of them anyway. And I'm just going to slice a few and fry them. And see what we end up with. I think Renee was wanting to know how I did mine, and I don't do anything fancy, that's for sure. I just use cornmeal, and I add a little bit of flour to it, not much, but a little bit. Slice them, about like that. I don't know why, but the squirrels are eating my tomatoes. They get a little bit bigger, and they get them this year. I just really don't appreciate them doing that, but they didn't ask me if they could have them. They just are taking them. Last year I had more tomatoes than I knew what to do with. This year I don't have hardly any. I canned green tomatoes a few years back, but I'm out of those, but I'm not going to be able to can any this year, and I sure wish I could, because I don't have any left. So, but anyway, we'll do with what we've got and be glad we've got it. So, okay, we're going to take cornmeal. Sometimes I use cracker crumb instead of cornmeal, but I'm going to use cornmeal today. And just a little bit of flour. Not much. Not much. And I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in it. I usually don't use much salt, but when it comes to fried green tomatoes, I use salt. I use a lot of salt on my tomatoes. Now, looks like I'm going to have to go to the store and get buttermilk. Now, I use buttermilk for, and I guess I am going to have to go get buttermilk because I am out. That's something that's sin to run out of buttermilk. I'm going to use my fingers. That's what I always do. I just dip them. Get them good and dipped. I'm not sure my grease is hot enough, so I'm just going to stop there for a minute. Let my grease get a little bit hotter. Because if it's not hot enough, the breading will come off, and then you won't have any breading on your tomato. Yep, the squirrels are eating everything. My peppers, my tomatoes, my cucumbers. I I hope they don't bother my sweet potatoes. But they'd have to dig to get them, so maybe they won't. A lot of times, someone will say their breading isn't staying on their tomato. And I find that if my grease isn't hot enough when I first put it in, it won't stay on. So maybe that's what's happening. I haven't had too many fried green tomatoes this year yet. I really haven't seen too many green tomatoes in the store for sale. I've seen a lot of red ones. Boy, they're expensive too. Times I'll press down on my breading to get it to go into the tomato a little bit. They smell good. They're not quite ready to turn. Now, if you want more breading on there, like I don't have that very thick, you can double dip it like that. Double dip that one. So, like I said, if the breading isn't quite as thick as you want it, just go back and dip it again in your milk, if that's what you're using. I'm using buttermilk. Now you can use regular milk, whole milk. I've used whole milk and put an egg in it and beat that up and use that to dip in also if I don't have buttermilk. And I've used breading that you would use to bread tenderloins or something like that also. I just kind of like the cornmeal. I use buttermilk cornmeal, and I like that real well. But it's what you like. Like I always say, take the recipe and make it your own. Now some of these look really, really thick with breading because some of them, remember, I double dipped them. And some I didn't. So if you want them more breading on there, just double dip them. That's one time you can double dip and get by with it. Hot, hot, but very good. And there you have our fried green tomatoes. Tomatoes right in there. And that one there I didn't double dip, as you can see. But if you want it thicker, just double dip them. And if you want your tomato to taste more tomatoey, just slice. This one here, my tomato isn't sliced very thick. Now I like to taste the tomato a little more. So a lot of times I'll pick the tomato when it's not real big and full. I like it where it's a little bit firmer, and then I'll pick it like that, and then that way I can slice it a little bit thicker so that it's a little bit thicker sliced, and you get that little crunch to it. That's how I like it. So try it, see what you think. Renee, I hope that'll help you, and enjoy your fried green tomatoes. And I appreciate you joining me today. Thank you bunches.